In case you're wondering why a Muslim woman born in Pakistan is addressing all of you, let me expound. My name is Raheel Raza, and I'm chair of the Rebel News Advisory Board, as well as on the advisory board for the Clarion project and president of Muslims Facing Tomorrow. Here's what I bring to the table. In December 1988, I set foot in Canada as an immigrant after being thoroughly vetted by the then immigration process. I had to provide police clearance from everywhere I lived, plus my educational, financial, and social credentials. So much so that at one point during my interview with the Canadian immigration officer, I felt that he knew more about me than myself. If this was today, I could have just crossed over through Roxham Road with my suitcase. This, plus the rising tide of extremism and radicalization, particularly among my co-religionists, is the reason I speak out at the cost of having a fatwa, death threat, hate mail, and a lawsuit on my head. So what have I done to invite this? I've spoken out ad nauseum against the violations of human rights, even if it is in my own faith practitioners. I spoke at the Swedish Parliament against honor killings. I gave testimony at the US Congress Committee on Homegrown Terrorism, advising them to ban the Muslim Brotherhood and stop foreign funding into educational institutions. I spoke at the House of Lords in UK against Sharia tribunals because I believe in one law for all. I also led a demonstration outside the UK Parliament against the Rotherham grooming gangs. At the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, I've spoken out about countries violating the UN Charter of Human Rights, mainly Saudi Arabia and Iran. In Israel, I've spoken about the unquestionable right of the country to exist with Jerusalem as its capital. In Canada, I've spoken out against the niqab and Motion 103, which says that there is systemic racism in Canada. The only systemic racism I've seen is our current Prime Minister wanting to be blackface. I've also given testimony on many other issues to the Canadian Parliament and Senate. I am against racism, bigotry, and xenophobia, but I don't believe that only one community needs to be singled out for protection. If the question arises as to why I've accepted a position with Rebel News, it's because I've known Ezra Levant since his days at Sun News, and I have utmost respect for him and his team, including Sheila Gunn-Reid and David Menzies, for calling a spade a spade. I hope to contribute in my own way to the success of these rebels, as now I am one of them. Thank you. This is Raheel Raza for Rebel News. Don't forget to like and watch www.rebelnews.com.